So we've got one from DJ To My Hits who said, would it really hurt to let the Jailer win? Remaking reality doesn't sound half bad for WoW at this time. I hope he wins. Imagine if, I guess to go on the whole Marvel thing, like the whole point in Infinity War, like Thanos wins, and then there's this like 5 years where all of our characters are sad, they have to deal with a whole bunch of shit, and their reward is resetting the stuff, right back to the way that it was. Such you have this funny situation where, you know, like the high school kids in the Spider-Man movie, some of them are just 5 years older because they had an extra 5 years. To be honest, I would love it if, you know, there's two ways it could go, right? Like, personally, I'd prefer it that, you know, Zoval, he comes down to claim Azeroth's soul, you know, through that kind of break in the veil in Icecrown, and we get a big Azeroth patch to end the Shadowlands X-Pack with. But if the Jailer was going to win, and, you know, he wins, we go to the Sepulchre of the First Ones, and we're just locked away there, and, like, he's won, the rest of reality's in big trouble, and our prize is to get reality back, I think that could be a cool way to reset the world state. I think that would be awesome. The only thing is assets and stuff. Now, as is it Night Stalker or is it, I forget who it is in Twitter, but one of them was saying like HD versions of the old world kits. HD Night Elves exist. HD Human Stormwind stuff exists. You know, they have a whole bunch of kits for the various different factions that they've updated over the last few expansions, which would make me wonder, are they actually making these assets, you know, with things like Warfronts, knowing that soon they'll be able to use those assets in some form of old world revamp? I have to wonder. I wonder if they're building up to that. But certainly, yeah, I understand why you might feel like you want the Jailer to win, because it all feels great.
I mean, we have to get back to some form of something making sense sooner rather than later. Rather than, what are these sigils? What even is reality? What's a fractal? What's going on? What's this broker talking about? Does anyone really... Is anyone following at all outside of the writers? Well, it's like that.
Yeah, it's like the writers are following, we're following, I'm sure Pyromancer's following, but I just know a lot of the player base are not following. And I don't really blame them for it, because the stuff's quite fragmentary. I mean, to not fully get, but like to get a bit more of the depth of the Sylvanas cinematic, it really was better after you'd read the fairy tale. And I think that's a bit silly.
I mean, that's...
As much as I like the fairy tale, and that is a lovely book.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the direction overall, where it is just, you know, I don't know how many times we have to say it, like, stop putting important stuff in books. Let all the players be on the same journey, please.
FF doesn't do that, and it spends way more time. Some people don't like FF because of the amount of time spent questing, but the people who do, they love it for that. I feel like WoW should really try to double down a little bit. Like, if you had simple systems, but there was just more quest content and stuff, sure, there'd be people who'd be unhappy about that, but I think they'd take that over having to jump through systemic hoops.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm gonna bring up here is, I can't remember his name. He's like, I don't think he's a guest writer, some sort of, you know, contributor to Eurogamer. Wrote an article about the quiet moments in games. I can't remember what he said. I can't remember how he titled the article. I retweeted it and stuff, but he was basically talking about the quiet moments in games. And I feel like that's one of the things that, like, WoW really lacks that other games do quite well to kind of really drive all of those character moments home. I mainly come up with this because I was, like, while you were talking there about the stuff in books, I just imagined all the stuff in WoW books and all of the, like, moments that I really, really enjoyed in FF that, you know, John enjoyed similarly, because he was going mad in the FC chat about how good they were. But it's just the idea of, like, you know, when's the last time we had an event happen and then we sat down, spoke to the characters and went, whew, you know, that was not even just like a, you know, not a wait and listen affair where they just dump like exposition.
Like we actually talked with that character. That's the thing, and WoW, they don't do dialogue.
Not even just that, just like, where's the break? Where's the 5 minutes between expansion? Like, where's the 5 minutes between BFA and Shadowlands where Jaina got to sit at the table and have a cup of tea and go, oh, that was a bit much, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff like that's just kind of missing.
Yeah, I think that's what to do. And do you know what I like? It's actually cheap to do. Oh, yeah.
All you have to do is, you know, get a couple lines out of the voice actor, if at all. And then, you know, have a nice table, a nice cup of magic water. whatever you're going to put down.
Yeah.
I mean, befitting Jin his current appearance, it would make sense for her to have a bottle of gin.
I think
Just
so, yeah.
Sitting there with a bottle of gin going, God, that was something.
I have suffered for years. Help.
Yeah.